Welcome to Seaway Whiskywire. Tonight on the bar, we've got the Deanston Virgin Oak Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. Stay tuned. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and we're going to start a little series here on Seaway Whiskywire on some more budget-friendly drams, starting off with the Deanston Virgin Oak Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. But before we get into that, being a Highland and all, if you want to pour yourself a dram, pour yourself some Deanston, pour yourself something from the Highlands, from Speyside region, and you want to drink along with me, please do so. I encourage it. Makes life a heck of a lot better for you guys on the other end, and I enjoy you guys drinking along with me. So before we dive into the bottle, I thought I'd give you guys a quick overview of the Deanston Distillery. So the Deanston Distillery is located near Stirling in the Highland region of Scotland and has a rich history that dates back to the 1780s when it was originally established as a cotton mill. The mill was known as the Adelphi Mill, and it was a significant industrial site during the Industrial Revolution, employing hundreds of workers and contributing to the local economy. By the mid-20th century, the decline of the cotton industry led to the closure of the mill, but in 1965, the site was transformed into the distillery by Brodie Hepburn, a whiskey broker. The Deanston Distillery began production in 1966. The distillery's design included a large open floor plan for production area, which allowed for efficient processes and contributed to this unique character of the Deanston whiskey. And in 1971, the distillery's first single malt was released, establishing Deanston as a notable player in the Scotch whiskey market. And over the years, Deanston's maintained a commitment to using natural ingredients, traditional techniques, and long fermentation periods, and focusing their maturation using oak barrels. Today, Deanston's owned by the Distill Group, which is a subsidiary of the Heineken NV, who is a large multinational that also owns Bunnahabhain, Tobermory, Lecheg, who all continue to produce acclaimed single malts. And you know, guys, the Deanston Distillery, this is the only expression I've ever had, but it's a great little entry expression. It's a great budget expression, and I'm, hoping that the budget price point and all that stuff won't turn you guys off from trying this out. So with that, we'll get into the specs on the bottle of the Deanston Virgin Oak Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. So the Deanston Virgin Oak is a non-age statement whiskey from the Highland region, and it comes in with an ABV, which is very similar to those who know distill products like Bunnahabhain, Tobermory, etc., and that's 46.3% ABV. Non-chill filtered, no color added. It does state that it's non-chill filtered right on the packaging, which I can really appreciate. No mention of the color, but I'm guessing that it's not because usually distilled products do not add any color to their stuff. Maturation process, they come in matured in ex-bourbon casks to begin their life, and then they finish in virgin oak casks, new virgin oak casks. And it does state on the packaging that it's from a place in Kentucky that they get their casks from or source their casks from. And we'll get into the pour here in a minute and take a look at the color of it. I don't believe they have it finishing for too long in the virgin oak, just because it would give it more of that those intense flavors that would be coming off the new oak casks. But before we jump into that, let's get into the presentation piece and just look at the presentation of the Deanston Virgin Oak. So the presentation is pretty cool. The box and the label, this is all rebranded too over the last few years, and it gives it this really cool craft look to it. They're really trying to push this as a craft product, which I can appreciate. There is a small bit of information about the distillery, which I can appreciate, a little bit of history. They give you some tasting notes. They do state that it is non-chill filtered. They don't mention anything about the color added, so I don't know why they wouldn't mention that, because I don't believe there is any color added, but they don't mention that, so that's pretty much the only thing I would say. They really make, the label looks like it's got a stamp on it. There's signatures all over the place. They're really trying to make this look like a craft product. And we'll get into the value proposition at the end there, but based on the value proposition, to me, it's a classic looking bottle, comes with a nice case, displays well. I give it a very good pass on the presentation. And they give a lot of information on the packaging itself. So with that, let's get into the pour and take a look at the Deanston Virgin Oak Single Malt Scotch Whiskey and what it has to offer for color. Didn't offer much for a bottle, for a cork pop on that, so maybe lose a couple points for that. Anyways, let's take a look here. So we'll go in close and have a look here, and as to be expected, those bourbon influences from the ex-bourbon casks and the new virgin oak casks have imparted some nice, lovely, light golden amber color to it. And again, I think if it had been left longer in those virgin oak casks, you would see a lot more color imparted and a lot darker product, which again leads me to believe that it's not left in there too long and that there is no color added. All right. So hopefully you're drinking along with me here. We're going to get into the nose and see what we can get out of the Deanston Virgin Oak. So right off the get-go, I'm getting those orchard fruits, those green apples, some honey in there too, some floral honey. Get the vanilla, some citrus notes, some lemon, some orange. The notes on the nose to be described more as a kind of a perfumey or kind of cologne-y kind of scent to it. I'm just getting some floral notes on there, so it's not too intense. But yeah, no, very well balanced, very bourbon-esque, but still very Scotch-like as well on the nose. So yeah, with that, let's get into the taste and see what we can get out of the Deanston Virgin Oak single malt Scotch whiskey. So Solange, to your health, and let's dive into it. So right away, taste very much matches the nose. I'm getting those green apples, honey, vanilla. Now I'm getting a little bit of candied orange on there as well, kind of in the middle there. I'm getting some nice spice. Wouldn't describe it as kind of that oak hug that you would get from like a bourbon cask, or for bourbon, but I am getting some oak spice on there. I'm getting some cloves. Got cloves, ginger, some cinnamon, and then a nice oak spice on the end there. Not too intense though. I will say that, it's not a big intense oak boom. Like you get those oak flavors and that oak spice, but would I compare it to like a high proof bourbon? No, it's not that rigid. Is there sharp edges to it? A little bit, but not a whole heck of a lot to note. So with that, let's get into the finish on the Deanston Virgin Oak. I'm gonna take one more sip here because I want to here, and we'll see if we can get anything else out of the finish. So finish length, I would say it's probably somewhere in the medium range. It's a real kind of two segment Scotch, and that is sweet, and then that little bit of spice on the end there, sweet and spicy, but not too spicy, not overly spicy. Again, you get that oak kick, but not a whole ton of it. Sweet, floral, and spicy, I think would really kind of match this up here. It's very well balanced. I say smooth a lot. It does have a little bit of like these rougher edges, being a non-age statement and all that. But I don't think it's enough that you would want to avoid this whiskey. The distillate is very good for Deanston, and I'm a big fan of the Deanston stuff, and I'm really a big fan of this character and this profile. It's very approachable, easy, and is a great jumping off point for the brand. But we're here for, it's a budget dram. We're here for the value. So let's get into the value proposition and talk about the Deanston here a little bit more. So the Deanston Virgin Oak comes in at around $58. For $58, I bought this because it was $58. I wanted to try something. I'd heard some decent things about Deanston. It was my entry into Deanston, and I kind of just said, you know what, for less than $60, I think I'm gonna just try it. What do I got to lose? And you know what? I really enjoy it. Would I replace it? Yeah, for under $60, yeah, it's a great sipper. It's definitely something that is got integrity to it. It's definitely something that is trying to be craft and trying to push you into it. I'm very excited about what else is in the Deanston lineup, like the 12-year-old, the 18-year-old, even some of their special releases. I'm very, very, very impressed with it. I like it, and I would definitely recommend it. So, budget dram, but don't let that fool you. This is an integrity product and very, very good and worth your time and worth your attention. So I would say if you haven't tried it, go out and get it. If you're a bourbon drinker and you're looking to get into Scotch, get this. If you're a Scotch drinker that wants to get into bourbon and you're looking for something to kind of tiptoe into that area, get this. This is a great one. And it shouldn't be avoided just because it's under $60. So there you go. That's my review of the Deanston Virgin Oak Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And if you like what we're doing here at seawaywhiskywire, you guys know that drill. Like and subscribe down below. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram at seawaywhiskywire. And if you guys are still hanging around, thank you very much for hanging around. I love making this content. I love coming down to the basement and having a dram and putting this videos and stuff together for you guys. Really enjoying it. Great little gig for me, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. So from me to you, take care, all the best, and I'll see you around. Bye for now.